Alright guys, I've done a lot of playoff preview stuff recently. Let's talk about some teams that are in their play-ins, but they're in the middle. Also, there's a sponsor in this vid, and also, I know the vids have been pretty spaced out lately, but you know once the playoffs get here, I'll be going crazy. Let's talk Atlanta. I believe Trey is extension eligible this offseason, so we'll find out real quick if he and the front office are on the same page. Let's just assume things are good for now. Trey is this team's whole offense. He is one of the best passers in the league. Their offense has cratered all season when he has not been on the court. Sure, 56 true shooting, you wish that was better. Some of that's just from tough threes he attempts. He takes a lot of floaters. He's good at the floaters, but that's different than if you shoot like 70% at the rim. Turnovers creep up sometimes. Still, great offensive player, great passer. We know that this season's going to end for them at the most losing in round one, right? That being said, they have been top 10 in offense recently, and I do think there are some signs of real optimism moving forward here if you're a Hawks fan. Some of this is Karras stepping in and being more of a scorer for them than he was with Cleveland, where he's attacking off the catch. He is creating for himself out of nothing sometimes, which this team loves to have somebody besides Trey who can do that. Karras is a free agent. If they can keep him at a good price, I think they should hold on to him. Risacher has also just been good lately. I mean, the second he showed up, I was saying nice things about his team defense, closing out and help, defense, all that stuff. Well, the offense has been better lately. Besides the threes going in, his confidence on them. There's been quick releases, there's been relocations. He's also been getting his catch and driving on a bit, his cutting on a bit. Risacher is good. I like Risacher. Dyson has also been doing work off the dribble, being a bit of an extra playmaker for them as well. We know what he does defensively, but there's been more than a few kicks to the corner or bounce passes to Okongwu in the roll from Dyson to where I'm like, this is interesting. And then I also got to get to Okongwu, who has been starting over Capella for about 2 months now, and Okongwu, sure, some of his baskets are just going to be playing off of Trey, lobs, rolls, all that stuff, you get it. But there's also like some hook shot, floater, back down, drive, even like little teeny things of threes there as well for Okongwu. So it's all intriguing stuff. He's been putting up like 15 and 10 as a starter. And I haven't even gotten to Jalen Johnson yet, who was averaging 19 before he went down for them. And just his playing off of Trey, attacking space, pushing in transition, making plays on the short roll. I think there is a framework for the Hawks being a good offense next season. They might need some more shooting. Now, they are going to have to figure out their offense when Trey is not on the court. But okay, and then as far as the defense, look, again, we know what Dyson is. Risacher, good team defender. They also got Mo Gay. Yes, Hawks fans, I didn't forget him. Don't know what he's going to be on offense, but his steals and blocks go crazy. And then you got Okongwu, where, I mean, it's not like the Hawks defense is bad with Okongwu on the floor. It's more so just that because of his height, like there's just going to be a limitation on what he can be as a big rim protector. But if you want to survey the league and try to find that guy, it's pretty tough to find. I mean, Claxton might be the one guy who could get moved, but the Hawks are already out their own picks because of the DeJounte trade. They do have some other picks. We'll get to it in a second here. But even so, like, Claxton was 9th in Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. And again, they're not bad with Okongwu. It's like, do you really want to do all that when you don't know for a guarantee if you're going to get that same Claxton? But yeah, they might have a Kings pick. They do have a Lakers pick. There are centers available in the draft. They will not control their own pick for many years because of the DeJounte trade. They've just got to make do. Obviously, they recovered well with Dyson. And Niang is here too. Before we get to the next team, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. So the Celtics' next few home games, admittingly, are not that great. But they do play the Grizzlies in Memphis on March 31st, and I'll be honest, those prices are a bit cheaper than I would have expected. And so if I find myself in Memphis in a week and I want to catch that game, or if I wanted to go to any NBA game or concert or festival or other sporting event, then I would use SeatGeek, and you can use my code FunkyDiabetic10. Yes, the code is different. FunkyDiabetic10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. And that is whether you are a new customer or not, and no matter how many times you've used SeatGeek in the past, you can use that code. SeatGeek rates deals on a scale of 1 to 10. Green means good, red means bad. So look for the green dots. You can find my code in the pinned comment of this video as well as in the description. One more time, SeatGeek, 10% off your next order. Code FunkyDiabetic10. Good stuff, bro. Now let's go to the Magic. Injuries, not enough shooting. They need a guard who can make shots off the dribble. You know I'm going to say all this. Let's just talk about Paolo and Franz for a little bit. The caveat, of course, being there's not enough spacing on this team, all that stuff, you know that. Okay. Franz is once again at the top of the league in drives per game or, shots at the rim or in the paint, all that stuff. Paolo continues to be one of the best foul drawing guys in the league. If we can nitpick both of these guys, with Paolo, for as much as Paolo has already done as an inside scorer and a foul drawer, it feels like there's another level to get to with him where you see these plays where it's drives, back downs, ISOs, whatever, where they become these fadeaways in the paint, I guess, where he picks it up early, maybe goes to a spin move a little early, and it just feels like a few shots a game that become more difficult for him than they need to be. And yes, having better spacing would certainly help. Paulo also needs to get better from mid-range, 3, and free throws. Okay. And then we go to Franz. The threes are back to 30%. I don't know what to do with it. The rest of his game is awesome, but I don't know what to do with the threes. I don't want to forget that outside of the recent Cleveland game, Paulo has had some really, really great games lately. Anyway, let's do this whole guard conversation thing. Look, the Magic, they have all their own picks moving forward. They have many tradable contracts, and I get it. They love their culture and their size and their defense, and of course you don't have to move everybody, but to me, the only definite keepers here are Paulo, Franz, and Suggs. Now, if you're a Magic fan and you really don't want to move Anthony Black or Da Silva, I think that's also fair. And to be clear, I don't think they should be super aggressive with moving picks. I mean, they are still 5 games below 500 right now. Yes, injuries, but still. But there's some wiggle room here, in my opinion. Anyway, you want to imagine some guards who can make jumpers off the dribble. I mean, the one everybody thinks about for the Magic is Simons, who has had some 30-point games recently. The other thing with all this is they do need to be willing to take on somebody they have to cover for defensively. It really just comes down to with the Blazers, are they comfortable with doing that now and having Scoot take over? He's got 1 year left in his deal. We'll see what happens there. Kobe White has been cooking so much recently. I feel like the Bulls just aren't going to move him. I mean, you can do with that whatever you will, but I just think that's how this front office is going to operate. I mean, there were rumors at the deadline of the Magic talking to the Bulls about Kobe White. If it didn't happen then, what's going to change now? I don't know. Maybe the Magic were not aggressive enough. I don't know. Magic fans don't want to hear this one, but D'Lo might be a possibility. He has not shot well with the Nets. I'll put Tyus on the list as well. He's more of just fundamental playmaker, but I think even that would help them. If Trey ever wants out of Atlanta, then you can have a really interesting Magic convo, but we got to see with that first. Besides all that, the dream of Wendell becoming a stretch 5, it's not looking too great. He did just make 2 threes in a game recently. Now let's go to the Kings, who are 35 and 35 as of me doing this, which just feels very Kings-like. Sabonis has missed some games recently, but their last game where everybody was healthy for the whole game, because Sabonis went down early in the next game, was against the Suns, and they just did not look good. They got cooked from 3 in that game. Some overhelping, some Sabonis and maybe Keegan trapping Book, and then somebody's got to close out to Beal, who's now wide open, and it's just way too late, or just overhelping on drives, or one particular play where Book got by Keon, and I swear to you, there was no rotation at all. And then on the other end, it just felt like the Kings plays was okay, somebody's going to run a 2-man game with Sabonis, and then if that gets us a good shot, cool, and if it doesn't, we don't know what to do. So it just became improv, tough shots, whatever. And to continue the Keon Ellis campaign, they are better with him and their top 4 guys than they are with Malik Monk in the top 4 guys. So that's cool. Anyway, big picture stuff with the Kings. Well, in the short term, I think it's just going to continue to be how much defense can you put on the court around Sabonis, LaVine, and DeRozan. And then long term, we do have a DeRozan conversation here because his contract has an option after next season. We'll see with DeMar. In the meantime, he's going to keep on getting buckets. He does what he does. But if you asked me long term, okay, who are the ideal type of guys around a LaVine Sabonis thing? Because I'm assuming they're not going to get a player better than these two. It would be a bunch of really good defensive players who can still do stuff on offense. We know Keegan's growth on defense. Keon, continue to say it, when he's on the court, they're just a better defensive team. And then if they could find a Drew type of guy, but there's not many guys like Drew, and also you can't have Drew. And even then, I'm talking prime Drew at the point guard spot, then that'd be great. It's possible that Devin Carter is just their one hope for that, because he was drafted a lot for his defense. You can still have Malik for his scoring, and again, you're still going to have DeMar for his scoring in the short term, unless they want to move DeMar after this season. It just feels like, even with all this, what are you really fighting for here? Play-ins in the West? The West is really good, man. I don't know. I mean, they do have most of their future picks, but it's tougher than, the Magic, because with the Magic, I'm okay, don't go crazy, but I could see you moving a pick where it's Franz and Paolo have not hit their ceilings yet. LaVine and Sabonis are who they are. Very good, but still. Now let's go to Miami. But the way the Heat have been playing lately, they could have been in my "these teams are not good" video. I know they won their last one, but they had that big losing streak. They're 29th in offense in the last 10 games. But just to say some nice things, Wiggins has been scoring. First couple games of Miami was a little rough, but he's been better. His last couple have been particularly crazy. I think it's been a good balance of Wiggins between self-creation versus attacking off the catch and having some sort of off-ball set for him or a double screen for him. And also Khalil Ware, there's been lobs, there's been cuts, there's been putbacks, there's been some threes here and there. There is a world in which Khalil Ware with more development can be this new age big guy. And Spo, he's been playing him with Bam. They're like, we're going to figure this out with you two together. Hero has had his best season. Davion has been good, but no, it's Davion. He's going to average like 9 points a game. Rozier is still under investigation, I think. And I guess Miami is now going in the direction of they're going to have their pick this year, most likely. I mean, basically every time I brought this team up this year, it was always, well, it's better for them to make the playoffs this year because they don't give their unprotected pick to OKC next season because they have to give a pick to OKC either this year or next year. Based on the way it's going, they're going to have their pick this year. They're giving OKC their pick next season. And they also owe a future first to the Hornets, too. So that's not great. They need a point guard. And I guess every guard that's been mentioned already from me, you can just throw them in for Miami as well. If not a guard, then just someone who can be the centerpiece of an offense, playmaker, the whole thing. Now, that's just to be a decent team. I mean, if they're going to have dreams of like getting back into contention, I mean, they're going to need a player better than Bam and Hero, and with the assets they've got, it doesn't seem like there's really a pathway to do it, but I'm sure they're confident that they can find a way. I know there's been some KD stuff for them, and they can get the salaries there with the Suns, but they can't make an actual good offer. At least I don't think, given their draft pick situation. The nuclear option I've seen suggested is what if they looked to trade Bam? The problem with that is, again, they're out 2 future picks of their own, so it's just really tough to make a move to get worse.